Welcome back to the F125 My Team here on the ChesnoidPlays channel. It's Season 2, Race 2. And of course, China, our first sprint weekend of this particular season. After a strong showing from Nico Hülkenberg in the Australian Grand Prix last time out, we're hoping to add to that with a strong showing here in China. Last season in China, we... where did we finish with Marta? We 16th in Australia, 14th in China. But we were 7th, 9 spots better off in Australia. Now, I don't think we'll be finishing 5th in China, but we will certainly do our best to be around about 7th. With regards to constructors, we are currently 5th in the Constructors' Championship. And even if I was to drive as Marta every race and have Nico as my AI teammate, I don't think we'd break into the top 4 in the Constructors' Championship anyway, so I'm still probably going to drive as Nico for the majority of the season, and we should be able to finish 5th in the Constructors this year, which would be an improvement on our 6th last year, before then hopefully next season with 2 properly decent drivers challenging those in the top 4. Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be outrageously strong this season for sure, considering they're so far away in the performance index. We said at the end of the last episode we were going to tweak the livery slightly with those 2 new sponsors we'd gotten, and we have indeed done that. So you'll notice on the wing mirrors we've got Cassandra now. Don't quite know how to pronounce that, but my brain is telling me Cassandra or Cassandra. And then on the rear wing end plates we have the Indlovu with the elephant symbol. The best one of those is going to be the final one you get, where we can have just a big old fucking elephant on the side of the car. That's going to look sick. But we, of course, need to unlock the loyalty for that, and we can do that by performing well in races. So let's head to China, and let's perform well in the race, shall we? Going with a balanced tyre allocation for this particular Grand Prix weekend. We did go with the harder one last season, but I'm going to lean towards the balanced one this season and see if that works slightly better for us. But off to Shanghai we go. Join me on track. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save. I'd very much appreciate it at the beginning of this second season to help push the content to new users. And if you are a new user, or if you're someone that watches all the time but isn't actually subscribed to the channel, then do hit that subscription button and come and join me on stream as well. Links to the streams are in the description down below. But we're on our way to Shanghai, and I'll see you there. Resource points added, not that many accrued in a sprint qualifying session where you only get 1 opportunity and minimal sets of tyres to do so. Quali pace apparently is in the mud, but I'm hoping that that's just that the practice program isn't that well fine-tuned and we should be okay in qualifying. But well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? That's to actually go qualifying, but we are of course on a higher difficulty setting now. But hopefully we can still be competitive because the car is better than it was at this relative stage last year. Well, in SQ1, 4/10 or 3/10 faster than we were in practice on the soft tyre, and P9 in SQ1. Not quite as dramatic as I feared it could be in qualifying, although still 1.8 seconds off George Russell. I don't know how Liam Lawson has done that lap time in a Williams, but hopefully he doesn't repeat it. Anyone shocking out? Mika Häkkinen down in 14th. My teammate 18th, which is a decent showing. Ocon's out in a Haas. Colapinto in the Aston Martin. No massive shocks there, although maybe Colapinto should have been slightly higher. Regardless, on to SQ2. As we're about to end our lap, rain is starting to fall here. I'm not sure if everyone's going to get a fully dry lap in. We've done basically the same time by a 10th or so that we did in the first session. I wasn't great in the hairpin, to be fair, on that lap. Could have been better. Yeah, it's definitely going to, 39% now, up to 88%, but then it says SQ3 is going to be dry. Weather is all over the shop. Where are we? Currently inside the top 10. But for how much longer? I mean, if it's raining now, I don't suppose anyone's going to go any quicker. No, they haven't. So we're going to be top 10 and going in SQ3 here. Piastri's going to be out in the McLaren. Doohan is through in the Alpine, which is a turn up for the books. But that's us through to the third part of qualifying in the sprint then. Thank you very much. but I'm pretty sure they've absolutely shat the bed here, and we're about to put it on pole. Which we have. Ladies and gentlemen, pole position for the sprint. Not because we've got stupidly high pace in the car, just because there's stupidly low intelligence with the AI.
Coming up over the rest of the weekend.
Oh well, pole. Yay. They're forming up behind us at the back of the grid.
Forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
The initial few behind us on the soft tyre, so I'm anticipating probably getting mugged a little bit at the start here, to be completely honest. And then, well, let's be real, then mugged for the majority of the rest of the race after that. A lot of wheel spin. There goes Max, up the inside on those soft tyres. Trying to get the car to bite when it's heavy on fuel. I mean, give me a warning for a collision with Hakkinen. I'm pretty sure he drove into me. Hakkinen, still P4. The difference in straight line speeds can be pretty obvious here in China, as it was last season. Antonelli got really tight on the apex there. It was down the main straight that we really lacked for straight line speed last year. We have run significantly less downforce this year, but it doesn't seem to have made too much of a difference to our competitiveness in a straight line, unfortunately. So we're really only challenging for kind of in a normal race conditions to be in or out of the points. In the sprint, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near any points, and well, we'll soon find out how poor we are in a straight line. And as you can see, we're quite poor in a straight line. Even Leclerc's going to try and make it 3 wide here at the hairpin. We'll hold on to P3 for now, but we are going to do nothing but tumble in these early laps here. Yes, Dunder this morning. That's why we were slightly late going live.
Okay, clear. Right,
red flag.
Incident in front of you.
Red flag in the sprint.
Red flag. We'll update you in the
someone
pits.
spun,
Okay.
I think, at the hair. No, the hairpin's down there. At turn 4. I think someone spun at turn 4. I'm not sure who. I'd rather stay on the tyres I'm on, really.
Okay, this is essentially a free stop, so let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
Just going to stay on the mediums I'm on. I don't really want to put the softs. I still don't think I could do 16 laps on the softs, so I'm going to stay on the medium tyres we started the race on, I think, and just take it from there. I think everyone else has gone to softs by the looks of things, although, to be fair, the majority of these around us were all on the softs anyway. Let's have a quick look at the race director. Now, everyone's gone to softs, apart from Senna, who's on the mediums. And those at the back are still on mediums. I don't think I could have made a soft set work to the end. Piastri's out. Piastri's retired immediately? What on earth? Where's Piastri? Which one's Piastri? Is that Piastri? Is that Lando? That's going to be Piastri here, isn't it? 97? 97 isn't Piastri's number. Oh no, 90, that'll be Hakkinen. So Piastri's back here. But he's just immediately pulled off at the start of the race. Oh my god. Well, that's chaos. Well, he's out then. Was that maybe what caused the red flag? Because he's the only retiree. Oh, I don't know what caused the red flag. Oh, it's a new set of mediums. He's put a new set of mediums on me.
Time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
I could have sworn. Why has it put a new set of mediums on me? I don't know, as I had more than one set of mediums available. If I now have less mediums available for the actual Grand Prix, I'm going to be really annoyed. I'm really confused as to what the tyre allocation is doing here, actually. I thought I was just staying on the mediums that I started the race on, but apparently I'm not. We don't know who caused the red flag at the beginning of the race, but someone spun at turn 4. and blocked the racetrack. Don't know whether it was Piastri. Don't know whether it was a Ferrari, because Hamilton is running quite a long way back now, unless he just got caught up in it. I've no idea. I've no idea. You guys will be able to tell from going back and having a look in the footage, which is something I obviously can't do at the minute. You'll be able to see what dot it was, what colour dot it was that stopped moving. Oh, it was nearly me that stopped moving there. Liam Lawson is having an unbelievable... Cool. Liam Lawson's having an unbelievable weekend. I'm having an unbelievably frustrating weekend here so far. I just want to see just how much damage I've got from that. He was so slow on the apex there. He's past me. He gets here and then slows down even more. Cool, that's cost me my M plate. Sweet. Oh my lord. So pole, followed by a red flag. Senna's got a 5-second stop, a 5-second penalty for something. For a severe collision with Gasly. Utter chaos. I've now got front wing damage. To be fair, in China in real life, Charles Leclerc got front wing damage and it actually didn't affect the balance of the car too much, and he was able to continue on with said damage. So I'll try and do the same. There's literally no point boxing in a sprint race, is there? But we're out of the points already. Now down to P9, a lock-up from Russell in front. Throw myself up the inside of Gasly. I'll try and fight for a World Championship point here. But if it gets a little bit pointless at any point, then we will just box and retire the car. But at the minute, I'm in a World Championship point scoring position here in the sprint, albeit with front wing damage. Gonna get mugged down the straight here by Senna and Gasly, and potentially Stroll as well. Trying to get some traction out the corner. Senna's going to be stupidly slow here, same as Lawson, I think, isn't he? Yep, there you go. Gets to the apex and then slows down.
Okay, take it easy on
ludicrous.
The car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Some sort of space would be lovely, please. Yeah, thank you. Managed to keep it in P9. I've just got nothing in a straight line. What are you doing, Senna?
Focus. We need
Senna has literally just driven right up behind me and into the back of me. The AI need so much work still. They just make such stupid decisions. It doesn't make any sense. It's so baffling. That sort of thing's been an issue for a number of years now. It's almost as if they drive like you're not there. They just don't factor in the user being on track. So he's driven a line there to go after Stroll, and then I just happen to be in the way. So it's like, oh, I guess I'll have to stop here then. Super slow round corners. Super quick in a they're like 20% slower on corner entry to slow and medium corners than they should be, and then 20% faster down the straights than they should be, and 20% better in traction zones than they should be. They still need a lot of work, the AI. Stroll with a couple of tank slappers there. He's still spinning his rear wheels up. I'm hoping that the medium tyres might actually come into their own towards the end of this sprint race. And we might stand a chance of still being able to get something. Gasly's not that far down the road. As long as we can stay in DRS of Lance Stroll, then we might be able to nab Pierre Gasly at the end of the race and take a point. I'm not giving up on it just yet. The thing that gets me is that the AI strength in a straight line, and the AI strength in traction, and the AI poor corner entry for slow and mid-corner turns is so glaringly obvious the first time that you play the game that it begs the question, how is it not noticed the first time that they play the game when they make it? It's so clear that the AI are too strong in a straight line and too slow into corner entry. Like, how are they not picking that up in the studio? It baffles me. Oh, Senna's engine goes bang right in front of us. He's then going to park it on the apex like an absolute prick. That's Ayrton Senna out there, and then he pulls across the racing line. The lack of AI intelligence is so stupid. Ayrton Senna, like, just go straight on at the hairpin. Why have you got to slow down to 10 miles an hour on the apex of the corner, then pull across the racing line to retire on the other side of the track? Why? Well, Senna's out. We're back to P10. I've not entirely given up on maybe getting that P8 off Pierre Gasly. The gap's 4.4 seconds. We'll gauge as time goes by. The front wing damage really hasn't caused us that much loss of performance, it hasn't felt like. But their soft tyres are holding on relatively well compared to our mediums at the minute. So I'm hoping to stay out of DRS range of Ocon behind. But I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do any catching of those in front either. If by the end of lap 15 we aren't any closer to Stroll or Gasly, then I will just pull into the pits and retire, because there's no point driving the extra few laps for the sake of driving the extra few laps. We might as well just save the wear on the parts on the engine. To be fair, I think I might as well just retire. Let's be honest, I'm not going to catch them, am I? I might as well just pull in. We're going to box and retire the car at the end of lap 14.
Gap to the next
car. Going to box and retire the car.
Seconds.
Oh, I just didn't want to stop. In we come, and out of the race we'll go. Join me in qualifying for the actual full Grand Prix, because that's where we're headed next. Across the line in 32.7, which is good enough for P11 in Q1. Through to Q2 again, just like we were previously. No adverse weather expected in this qualifying session, though, I don't think. Victor Martin up in P9. Finished 9th in the sprint as well. I don't think we'll have actually shown you that from the previous bit. If we have, then you already knew. Both Hasses, both Saubers, no real surprise there. Gasly out in the Alpines, maybe a bit of a shock, but Hadjar in the RB is not, given the nature of his history in this save. Piastri just doesn't perform, weirdly, in that McLaren. I would have considered signing Piastri at some point in the save, but if he is this poor, then surely we'd be better off with someone else. Of course, we have already started contract talks with Carlos Sainz.
Okay, radio check. Radio check.
Radio check.
2 minutes remaining in the session. We need a good lap here or we're out of qualifying. Come on.
I'm out of qualifying. P12 as we cross the line. Just managed to get there before the checkered flag fell, actually, but P12. And Martin was P13. So my teammate performing very well there. I say performing well. I'm P12. He's P13, but there is 8 tenths between us. And then it's Aaron in the V-carb, and the 2 Aston Martins significantly off the pace. The Williamses are going well. It's Albon in P3 this time. It was Lawson in the sprint part of the weekend, but one of the Williams is always doing very well. Lawson in P11 then. All right, no Q3 for us this time, which probably might well have been the case in the sprint as well, had the weather issue not presented its ugly head. But we will start just outside the points here in China then for the main Grand Prix.
Max Verstappen put in
Verstappen
a
on pole then with a 30.2, which is mind-bogglingly quick based on the performance of our car.
We have
Russell there in P2, right with him as ever. Tsunoda and Antonelli right behind them as well. Leclerc and Hakkinen in P6 this time. Senna then Piastri. So it's Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari. Sorry, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, or whatever. My brain fried itself then. No penalties in front of us. Despite the retirement to Ayrton Senna, he doesn't take a penalty and is able to continue on. So no pens for anyone. Now, because it's a sprint weekend, I don't know if I get 2 sets of my medium tyres. I don't.
Radio check.
And I don't know whether taking the extra set.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Listen,
I don't know whether the extra
might be too much to ask today, but just give it your best shot.
I don't know, because of the extra set we used in the sprint race, whether that screwed me for this race, but I think effectively got 1 set of new everything, and I don't think I want to go soft. I think soft, medium, hard, or some strategy that involves all of the different compounds is probably the best way to go about it. So I will probably, I mean, look at the mixture on the grid around us. Nobody knows what to do really over anyone else, do they? Lots of softs, mediums and hards at the front. Lots of softs, mediums and hards at the back. I will probably start on the medium tyre, go to the hards, and then run the softs at the end. I'd be tempted to run the hards at the beginning, but I want to remain at least somewhat competitive if possible. So let's extend that stint. I want to basically run as little a stint on the soft as possible. 19 laps for the sprint race was what we had for the soft tyre. I'm probably gonna do that. 19, 23, 14. I think that's probably best for me personally. We'll put 4 laps worth of extra fuel it wants to put in the car at the minute, which is outrageous considering last season. If we check our data from last season, we started with half a lap. The car, despite all of the upgrades we make, seems to be getting less economical, which seems a little backwards, but it is what it is. Again, we've gone with the balanced tyre set here, and we've gone for a 2-stop, but we've got 1 of each. 1 of each. And then 4 laps of extra fuel. Yikes. Well, it's dry throughout at least, and we will start on that one, thank you. Starting on the mediums, going to the hards, ending on the softs. Don't know what's going to happen. Going to be on the inside of the grid this time around, on the dirtier side.
There, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers
that's
as the lights go out.
Massively affect our getaway. I tend to always really struggle with wheel spin in the second phase, so I'm going to try and avoid that, but by trying to avoid that, you always risk getting a poor start and getting bogged down in the gears. We've actually had an electric start here. We've gone from 12th or 13th, whatever it was, to nearly 9th now. We're up the inside of Albon. That was a great start. It's one of the best starts we've had, especially since they tweaked the AI start procedures. Up only a couple of positions. Yellow flag behind. That's an RB. Deep on the brakes there. Is he out or is he still going? He's just getting going again. So I think an RB's had a spin here maybe. Oh, he's run wide. Is he forced wide? He does have a car on the inside there. As he comes round, I think he just... Oh no, he straightens up and tries to get out of it. I think he's worried about running into the back of the Aston Martin, then gets wide, understeers entirely, and then actually makes a conscious decision to turn into the gravel, which is a bit odd. Not only into the gravel, he's driven halfway across the gravel and then decided to come back to the circuit. I do question a lot of the AI's decision making, I really do. That's Paul Aaron's race over before it's begun. Senna's going to go for the outside line here. Got the position or stayed in the position up into the braking zone. Taking some front wing out and rear wing. We took 5 ticks out at both ends of the car before going into qualifying. I haven't yet decided whether it's helped us in a straight line, but it does seem that we're slightly more competitive everywhere, at least on the opening laps experience. Although, to be fair, with everyone high on fuel and such a mixture of tyre compounds, it's hard to tell at the minute. I mean, look at just look at the top left alone. Soft, hard, medium, hard, soft. People's pace is going to be all over the place comparatively to everybody else at the minute because everyone's on different bloody tyres. To try and stay in DRS range of the hard runners in front. They're in faster cars but on a slower compound. There's 0.8 of a second difference supposedly between the medium and the hard compound, so even though our tyres won't last as long, they should hopefully keep us competitive pace-wise with them. Initially anyway, till my traditionally high tyre wear starts to kill me. But we're within DRS here, so we'll keep fighting. Max Verstappen is pieced out, then comes Russell, Tsunoda and Antonelli. Leclerc is starting to drop a little bit further back here as the two McLarens start to make their way a little bit further forward. Albon behind me now in P9. He's taken Ayrton Senna, and by doing so has opened up a bit of a gap behind us, which I'm very pleased to see. Give us a little bit of a reprieve from too much attacking from behind. Down the main straight, or back straight, certainly. Leclerc has gotten Hakkinen back here, so I'm just going to try and stick with the McLarens and the Ferrari at the minute. To be fair, Russell, Tsunoda and co are battling so hard that they're bringing themselves back towards us as well, so it's kind of Max Verstappen and then the rest at the minute. That's kind of the theme of this save so far, really, isn't it? It's just been Max Verstappen out on his own and then everybody else. But this is actually going much better than the sprint race thus far. Significantly better. So we've definitely made the right decision setup-wise. I just need to actually concentrate and make sure I don't throw it all away by driving like a moron. It was at 13% after 5 laps, which is so high. I'm going to go to lap 19 before boxing for the hards, but I don't know if my front left will actually get me there at this current rate. I'm intrigued to know.
Hakkinen's ahead of you now, and the time
I think Hakkinen's going to be on a 2-stop as well. I think the majority are going to be on 2 stops.
Okay, they're on fresh.
It's just a case of what compounds are going to do that 2-stop on.
I think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Okay, you're dropping back by around 0.2 each lap.
Pretty sure everyone's going to be on a 2-stop, but whether some go 2 sets of softs, some go 2 sets of medium, some go 2 sets of hards, it's all a complete mystery at the minute. Hakkinen has fallen off the back of Leclerc in front of him. And actually, to be fair, Oscar Piastri is making moves so far in this Grand Prix, and he's up to 4th. He's taken Tsunoda. He's having a great race. Flag behind, not sure what for.
The track is clear, green flag.
I'm not sure who that yellow flag is for at the minute. Oh, it's an Alpine. Or is it a Williams? I think it's an Alpine. Might be Gasly. Pulling over, is he still going? Has he got a puncture maybe? No, he's pulling over. That is an Alpine out of the race. It's Jack Doohan out of the race. Doohan's having not much luck so far this season.
For now.
Although,
good.
At least he's still got a race seat. He and Franco Colapinto both on the grid now, thanks to Colapinto's signing at Aston Martin. Gap in front is now beyond DRS. Gap behind is surprisingly still growing though. Senna is not that quick, in all honesty.
3/10 a lap. Well done. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead.
Really know why Senna's not got the pace right now. But Senna hasn't really had the pace in the save so far. I certainly would have expected more of such a high-rated driver, unless the Ferrari car is just not that good. But I mean, Charles Leclerc is doing all right up in P6 with it, so I would have expected Ayrton to do slightly better. He'll probably close on me now because my tyres are significantly worn and will be just getting worse and worse and worse as this stint goes on, of course. So I'd expect Ayrton Senna to be with me and probably past me before we box on lap 18 or 19. My front left tyre is nearly at 30% at the end of lap 11. Leclerc is now just taking Piastri. Tsunoda's falling back a little bit. I wonder if Tsunoda's maybe got a bit of damage from fighting with some other cars with the Mercedes. Oh yes, significant damage on Tsunoda. Look, entirely missing the whole of that right-hand side of his end plate. Two Mercedes are fighting hard. Max Verstappen is like, see ya. But that's why Tsunoda's no longer battling there. It's because he hasn't got any front wing left. Well, Senna is now within DRS range of me. And he's so fast that even when he passes me, I'm not going to be able to stick with him. He's going to have too much pace for me to be able to stick in his DRS, unfortunately. Those hard tyres are really proving to be pretty good right now. My mediums are absolutely toasted. My tyre wear's quite high here. About 15% higher than anticipated. And, well, you can see that front left is not having a very fun time right now. It's going to be considerably more by the time we get to the pit stop as well. Not ideal, but not really much else I can do, quite frankly. We don't have the tyre sets available to do much more. So we'll box on, I might box on 18, but at the minute we're scheduled to do 14 laps to the end on the soft tyre. I mean, if my mediums are this worn,
okay, gap to the car in
after
front.
a similar stint,
2 seconds.
I know we started on the heavy fuel, but still the softs are just going to disintegrate at the end of the race, aren't they, really? I can't even get on the power there, losing so much traction. Time to fall even further backwards and then cry my way to a pit stop. The two soft runners actually are in now. Piastri and Tsunoda both boxing on lap 15.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Intriguing. Although, to be fair, that's probably about what you'd expect from a soft stint, isn't it? We shortened our soft stint to 16 laps. They've gone to mediums next, so I think they're soft, medium, mediuming, or soft, medium, harding, depending on what compounds they've got available, which is effectively what we're doing, but in reverse. We have miraculously been able to stay with Senna for the end of the stint. So we're going to box at the end of 19 with a decent gap behind us to Tsunoda and Piastri, who have boxed a couple of laps ago for their medium tyres after their soft stint. Our teammate's currently running P10 and in the points, so a great showing from Victor Martin so far, who's about to go past me as well. Good stop, please, gentlemen. Thank you.
Right, let's go.
2.5 second stop.
Job on the turn in there, mate.
Onto the hard tyre.
Nice stop time. We're happy with that one. You only have to stop
out
once
with
now.
Really,
one stop left.
Out in a really nice gap, actually. Lots of free air to try and put together a decent stint here. Albon's not close enough to really have us concerned about him at all. And it's just the two Aston Martins that are far enough apart from each other that they shouldn't be too easy to pick off one by one. And we're needing to take this set of tyres quite away. But yeah, I was going to say about up 42,
okay, this
really.
isn't your true position. They haven't pitted yet, so don't waste time fighting. Bring your tyres in gently and let's go for it.
Yeah, bringing my tyres in gently isn't really a luxury I have here, or really anywhere. As you guys well know, I'm not the tyre whisperer. I'm the tyre screamer. I shout at them, they melt, and then we box again. Right, if I can get a good exit here. To be fair, I didn't get a great one. Colapinto's still pulling there on the way into turn 4, so I was thinking about maybe making a move up the inside of Colapinto into turn 4, but not able to do so. The gap between him and his teammate has come down as well. Stroll not performing quite so well on the worn hards as Colapinto, and if they do get within DRS range of each other, It's actually going to make it more difficult to get past Colapinto. I wonder whether Stroll is actually doing it on purpose to try and help his teammate defend against me. It would be great teamwork if so. I do wonder whether Stroll just in general doesn't have the pace, but Colapinto's fast enough for the minute to keep me at bay, for the time being anyway, and he will get DRS on his teammate here. It's going to be more difficult to get past these Aston Martins than I hoped it would be by the looks of things. He's going to get the opportunity to maybe have a go at his teammate soon, Colapinto. He's slow in here. I could try and sneak up the inside of one. I'm not going to get the inside of two. That would just be greedy, but we've taken Colapinto around the inside of turn one. And unfortunately, similar to last lap, I didn't get a good enough exit of turn 4 to stand a chance of having to go in... Sorry, of turn 2 to stand a chance of getting an opportunity to overtake into turn 4. But we'll definitely get Stroll down the DRS zone if we haven't gotten him before. Probably might be worth my while just biding my time and waiting and going for him down that straight and then using the DRS rather than overtaking him, then having him overtake me again, and then have to do it all over again and run the risk of Colapinto getting me too. So I kind of want the DRS to attack Stroll, but at the same time to defend from Colapinto, because he's always going to get the edge on me around turn 13 here. The AI are so good on traction around this turn. But we're going to have the run. We'll take Stroll. Colapinto may even get his teammate here as well. And hopefully they'll have a bit of a fight into the hairpin or through the hairpin. And I'll try and gap them a little bit down the main straight. That doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Regardless, we're up to P11. Martins and Lawson having a bit of a fight in front of us, which is going to slow them down a bit. Half a second through the final turn alone, if not more than.
Gap to the teammate ahead of us, 3.7 seconds.
Very nearly back in the points. Chasing after those McLarens once more. Lawson going up the inside of my teammate right now. And then Martins is going to have the inside line. We might, provided they don't lose so much time battling with each other, we might stand a chance of getting a double Chesnoid Racing, points finish today for the first time in the save. I don't really know where Martins' pace has come from. His driver stats haven't really improved that much, nor has the car really gotten much better between, or even better at all, I don't think, between Australia and China, but Martins is really showing quite some good pace this race weekend. Strong weekend for him personally, and hopefully for the team. It would be a series first to this point, after 26 Grand Prix, that both cars finish in the points if it happens. If we could both get past Lawson here, that'd be great.
Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake. Use overtake.
I don't think either of us. In fact, Martins is going defensive against me. Or is he letting me through? Well, he's not going to let me through because that sort of team orders doesn't exist in the game as it does in real life. But I'll try and help him through on Lawson. And then if he can stay in my DRS, then potentially that could help Martins' whole race. But okay, Lawson's on the hards, Martins is on the mediums, and they are worn quite a bit, I think. I'll try and slow Lawson down as much as I can here to try and keep Martins in his DRS, which he is right now. So it keeps my teammate in the hunt for that P10 and a World Championship point. Come on, Victor, put your foot down, pal. Let's get it done. Double points for Chesnoid Racing here in China would be absolutely stunning. We are a long way behind Mika Hakkinen. 16 seconds to the McLaren. Senna in the box off those hards, having done 29 laps on them.
Piastri stopping now.
No, that's Senna in the box now. Can you clip that, please, chat? That's another, just more data for Cody's with Senna in the box. Oh, Red Bull retiring. Is that going to be Verstappen again? It is! Max Verstappen retires in both the first 2 races of the season. Your championship holder, for the time being, has retired in Australia. I think won the sprint.
Okay, no
and now retires in the main Grand Prix.
Keep taking care of them.
Here in China. He's out of this race as he was that last race. Well, reliability issues left, right and centre for Red Bull right now. Don't know whether it was his engine blowing up or just a mechanical issue, but he's pulled over to the inside of that turn, which is a very strange place to put the car. Never seen anyone parked there before.
The car ahead's coming to fit the mediums.
But
he's
out.
Running medium tyres.
We gain another position in the race thanks to a Max Verstappen retirement. Leclerc in front has boxed. Senna behind in 9th has boxed. I'm curious to know if they're going to the end or if they're going to box again. I think they might box again onto softs. I'll keep asking about Leclerc. And we'll let you know when we get the opportunity to. Please tell me about Leclerc, thank you.
So
I'll ask about Senna as well when he gets past Gasly behind. I'm presuming he's still stopping again. Or no, if we just said he's on fresh mediums, is he going to the end? Imagine then that Leclerc and Senna are both one-stopping. Hard still at 29, and then mediums to the end. That's a long way on medium tyres.
One lap old. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by.
That's a long way on medium tyres.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 29.2 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to the end on that set. It's a long way on medium tyres. A really long way. Could we... No, I was going to say, could we catch Senna on our soft set at the end of the race, but he's already closed that gap to 5.6 seconds. We'll be past us before we box, and there's no way we close an entire pit stops distance with soft tyres that, if we're honest with ourselves, will be pretty dead after about 8 laps, let alone the 14 we need them to do. They will go to the end, but not with any real pace. I don't know what position my teammate is in now.
Gap to your teammate behind.
Size will gap back to him.
Seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards.
I think he's going to the end. 13th.
Time last lap, 1 minute 37.3.
Yeah, Zane is one stopping as well. We're doing it the other way, going medium hard rather than hard medium. But at this stage, I'd say Zane isn't going to get points, and we won't get our first Chesnoid Racing double points finish. Right, Mika Hakkinen behind is fresh out of the pits at the end of the last lap, and now fresh completely past me. Try and use a bit of that slipstream to help defend against Senna, but let's be honest,
for now, everything's looking good.
Senna's going to be past me very soon as well. We were thinking boxing lap 42 for soft tyres. I think actually these hards could go a little further than that, and I might try and stretch them a little further than that depending on what the situation is behind us and where we'd come out. But at the moment, even though we're now running P5, having just taken Tsunoda who was in the box, I don't think our race position is, or our final race position is actually going to change that much regardless of what we do strategically between now and the end of the race. I think regardless, we're going to end up in the same position come the checkered flag. Whether we stay out longer on the hards or not. But we'll try and hold up Senna as long as we can. You never know if there's going to be a safety car or a red flag that could work in your favour later. So we will fight for position as long as we can rather than just simply moving out of the way. But as soon as we're into the DRS zone of the straight, it's, as you probably would have imagined, immediately game over. That's Senna through down the straight, and now there's an Oscar Piastri and a Yuki Tsunoda that are particularly interested in the back of me too. So it's not going to be long until we're back down in P8, and then there's a rather sizable gap behind Tsunoda back to a Williams, which I believe is probably going to be Alex Albon, not Liam Lawson. Might be Lawson actually, but either way, I think when we box for our soft tyres in a few laps' time, we come out in the gap between Tsunoda and that car in 9th. And I think we're on for a P8 finish here today, which is very similar to what we did in Australia, obviously, with the P7. Just one place further back, and obviously both factoring in a Max Verstappen retirement. I think that's probably going to be a similar story for the majority of the first part of this season until we get some more upgrades on the car. Too busy talking, not driving. I think that's going to be the case for a while until we get significantly more upgrades on the car, basically. So we might have to put up with a few P7s and P8s before we can properly break into that top 6. And even then, I think it's going to be quite hard to break into the top 4 because of the gap in the performance index to the Red Bull and the Mercedes that we've seen already this season. Although Tsunoda's not having a worldie of a race. And if Max Verstappen keeps retiring, then we're loving life. So we're coming into pit this lap for a set of softs. Lawson and Colapinto have been closing on us behind. It says we'll come out 13th when we pit, which is about where our teammate is, I think. But we'll probably... It's always a bit pessimistic, that pit now rejoin thing. Obviously, it depends on the gaps between cars, but when they're all close together like that, you could probably come out about 5 seconds further forward than it anticipates that you will. So it says P13, but we might well come out a little bit further up than that. See, Albon P10.
Okay, let's go now. Come on.
Stroll's going to go through.
You and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Up to
No, we're going to come out in P12 ahead of Stroll. Now we've got a bit of a... Whoops. Just looked at the deltas top left. We've got a bit of a gap to try and close down now on these soft tyres to the points. Gasly's 3.5, Colapinto 6, and then obviously he's got 2 Williams in front of him in 8th and 9th, and we're wanting to finish in 8th place if we can. So not only have we got to get these soft tyres to have the pace to close that gap, we've also then got to have them have the longevity to keep them behind us once we get there, if we get there. So it's an awkward final stint here where we could either finish inside the points and actually as high as 8th place, or even end up staying in 12th, albeit probably gaining positions to then lose them again. But we'll wait and see just what the offset is in our tyres lap time wise. Obviously we're on fresher tyres, significantly so over some, but we know the softs die very fast. That front left is already at 2% fresh out the pits before we finish the lap, so it's going to be an awkward one. We might well close the gap, we might well make the overtakes, we might well then find ourselves falling back through again, but we will fight tooth and nail to get as many points as we possibly can for the team. Basically 3% a lap on that front left. We've got the inside of Gasly here. That's 11th. The gap's come down quite quickly, actually. Quicker than I thought it would. But they're probably in tyre saving mode right now, and I'm just not. You see that Gasly got a run on me there on exit. Even on brand new soft tyres, the traction on older hards is still better for the AI than me. 1.6 seconds to Colapinto. And closing. I'm going to have to try and get ahead and then gap them a bit if possible, but I've still got the other 2 Williams to catch as well. And Albon is just as far ahead of Lawson as he is from me right now. I don't think that 8th is as nailed on as I hoped it would be. 5.5 tenths to Colapinto as we start the straight. Using lots of battery, using lots of DRS, using lots of speed. and through on the Aston Martin. Can't even see the other Williams. It's pulling away at such a rate. It's Alex Albon. Still another 6 seconds to Albon. And my tyres are already 12% on the front left. I don't know, as we get as far as Albon to then lose the time coming backwards. I think P9 could be as far as we get today. That Williams is just too far away, I think. I'll do my best, obviously, in the laps that remain, but there's still 10 laps to go, including the one that we're on. I think P9 is almost certainly the best we do today. Points are points, obviously, so I'm not going to complain too much, especially after qualifying P12. It was a really good start that helped us, obviously, at the beginning. We clung to the McLarens and the Ferrari as best as we could for as long as we could in the opening stages of the race, but rather evidently our ultimate race pace is nowhere near a McLaren or a Ferrari at this particular stage of our My Team career. We're more Williams and Aston Martin-y at the moment, which is adequately reflected by our Constructors' Championship position as well as the performance index. We'll get Lawson now, though, comfortably, as we did Colapinto last lap. And I mean, we've only gained by half a second on Albon that lap, and that's with the DRS down the straight. This might be as far as we get, lads. As we start our final lap then, we do get to finish the full Grand Prix today, as we have not been lapped. We did get lapped towards the end of the Australian Grand Prix, of course, by George, and he's not massively far behind. As you can see from the mini-map, he's going over the line now, so he's only about 15 seconds or so behind us as he wins the Grand Prix. So we weren't too far away from getting lapped today. The gap to Albon has since grown from where it was at about 4.5 seconds, I think, as low as it got. But the gap behind has actually grown even more, which I'm surprised about. Lawson's actually lost a position to Gasly. And it's now the Alpine that is in that final points-paying position, but he's not really shown much of any inroads to closing us down. Fuel is quite low, actually, 0.4 laps left, or 0.4 extra laps worth of fuel left, and we put 4 laps worth of extra fuel in the car, so it has been quite the drinker of a Grand Prix. We have quite the drinker of a car, it seems. I don't know how that compares to everyone else's. But as the gap in front continues to grow and the gap behind does so similarly, it'll be 2 World Championship points for Chesnoid Racing today. My teammate's going to come home in 14th, I think, which is still decent for Martat, but not quite going to bring home the double points finish we are yet to achieve as a team. 0.38's worth of laps worth of fuel left. It's not bad though.
All right,
points are points, and we'll take them every week at the moment, whilst we can.
What is that? 2 points?
Yes, Nico, that is 2 points. Thank you, sir. Pierre Gasly gets driver of the day. Must have started near the back then after only finishing P10.
And the best of Britain.
Let's have a look and see where he did actually start. Fair play to George Russell getting the victory. I think it was a Mercedes 1-2 with then Charles Leclerc in third. Indeed, it was.
Another weekend of motorsport action, but with more races lined up. Be sure
Where
to join
did
us when
Gasly
we come
start?
back
18th.
with more
18th to
Formula 1.
10th. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good race from him. We unfortunately only P9, but we'll take a P9. Like we say, we are in a position at the minute where being 5th or 6th in the performance index means we should be finishing about 10th to 12th, really. So any points we do get are welcome. In theory, we shouldn't be finishing any higher than we actually have been thus far. Really frustrating that we're getting quite a few delays
boss.
there.
A potential title sponsor wants to strike a
A
deal at
potential
the next
title
negotiations.
sponsor. A French... Oh, no, based in Greece. Kest, recognised as top choice for luxury holidays globally. Continues to expand its prestigious resort offering. Early talks with Victor Martin. Nah, soz. I'm going to delay that meeting. Sorry, Victor. Who we sign as our title sponsor next year will probably depend on what we do for the remainder of this season, but you can see there that our performance comparison sees us continually in about 7th in the lineup. We're not massively far away from everyone else in the performance index. That's not the one I wanted. Is it in results? No, it's just standings, isn't it? Okay. Will it be in here? Progress history is what we're after, isn't it? We can show you exactly how the car is performing compared to everyone else. And it's not bad, actually. And because almost all of the upgrades are on both cars, we're both drivers are similarly positioned on the performance index. We are now supposedly a little bit further behind Aston Martin and Williams than I thought we were. Ferrari have dropped off quite a bit, haven't they? And look at the jump to Mercedes and Red Bull. It's actually ridiculous. Well, it's Japan next for us, but we've got some work to do in the downtime, as you could see there. Got some resource points that we can spend on research and development ahead of the next Grand Prix. Can't do anything else on the chassis side, can't do anything on the powertrain side. Can do something on the durability side, but I can't quite afford it. What we need to do now is start spending more money on departments again. I'm really annoyed that that's... We've had a lot of failures, haven't we, on the development side. It's quite significantly so. So we probably could be even further advanced than we actually are, but it is what it is. Powertrain intercooler has failed as well. Lovely, wonderful, never mind. Need to unlock a number more opportunities to develop on the chassis side, as well as obviously more development on others. Unlock dual development to develop an upgrade for both cars simultaneously. Now that will be very, very handy indeed. 3 upgrades at the same time on the aero side is okay, but we've not got masses left to do on the aero side, quite frankly. Research 3 projects at a time on the chassis side is great. That's what we're after. Also look to unlock more opportunities on the chassis side when we can too. Personnel's still going and will be for a while, so not really going to unlock anything else on that side of things anytime soon. Still not sure if we're going to approach any other drivers other than Carlos Sainz at the moment.
Chief, I must remind you that
another delay.
Fully researched that are waiting for development.
We'll delay the meeting with Nico. I'm
car.
probably going to keep Nico Hulkenberg on as a driver for next year, but we'll wait and see who might well be available. I mean, we might end up going for Carlos Sainz and Lando, or even maybe Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. Maybe even someone that races for someone else currently rather than just free agents.
Chief, we have a part or two ready for development because...
Annoyingly, I forgot to do my activities on the way into this, but regardless, let's try and get some more stuff done here. What unlocked? Was it? I'm not sure what it was on the powertrain. Ah, it was durability. There we go. All right. Well, I don't need to do it. You get a fresh gearbox. So every race. So I really don't need to do the gearbox stuff, do I? But developmentally, we can start hopefully adding things to the car very soon. That'll be ready for Saudi Arabia. That's a long wait for that. Upgrades complete there. Excellent. Well, they hopefully can get added onto the car then. Let's do the cylinder head there for both. They'll be ready for Bahrain at least. Let's do that for both cars. Obviously, at the moment, unlocking the ability to develop parts for both cars simultaneously, which will be very, very much welcome. We've got loads of money right now. Are there any upgrades to assign here? Supplier stuff. Both cars actually have the same parts equipped at the moment. And we're right there. We're now ahead of Aston Martin actually on the performance. And right behind Williams. And if we're honest, right behind Ferrari as well. Although they're obviously performing better than the performance index would show there based on their performances so far this season. They've been ahead of McLaren more often than not. Tsunoda was quite a way down actually recently as well in that last Grand Prix. Heading into his home Grand Prix though, I expect him to be performing a bit better. Ultimately at the minute, I'm not really sure where to spend these resource points or these trainer points because nothing is of benefit to me at the minute. Nothing really is that strong, so I'm kind of spending resource or spending trainer points on stuff that I can't actually gain much from. That's already done there. That didn't take long at all. So we can upgrade the upgrade the engineering facility again, which we'll look to do now. 4% more resource points, don't need those. New research focus activity. Research focus activity. Reduces the time it takes to research upgrades by 25%. That would be pretty huge. As with the 25% for the development too. I want more chassis options available to me though. That's what I'm waiting for. But at the minute, there's nothing. That must be in phase 3 perhaps. Aero breakthrough, chassis breakthrough. There you go. So new tiers coming in phase 3. So we're not there yet. So we're getting close to actually maxing out our potential with the car right now, which isn't ideal. So we'll go for the reducing the research time, and then I think we're probably in a position to just head to Suzuka. So that will do us for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching, lads. Appreciate it very much indeed. Hopefully you enjoyed that Chinese Sprint Grand Prix weekend. Unfortunately, the sprint don't go as successfully for us as we hoped, but the actual Grand Prix itself still gave us points in the end, so we have to be happy enough with that. Continually punching slightly above our weight, and you never know, Japan might do something similar for us. Drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and do come and join me on stream, where hopefully I'll see you next time.